Welcome everybody to our webinar.
Today, we delve into a topic that has been quite intriguing in the recent months: the impact of artificial intelligence on the work of auditors. I will be speaking with Sebastian Burgemeister, the former president of IIA Poland. Sebastian has been involved with risk-related activities, audits, and compliance assurance for over 20 years. Together, we will contemplate the influence of AI in this domain and try to answer the question of whether artificial intelligence will replace auditors in not so distant future. After our conversation, I invite you to join the practical part. I will demonstrate the architecture of a secure solution based on Microsoft Teams and the internal audit system on the AdaptiveGRC platform, and of course, artificial intelligence assistant powered by ChatGPT version 4, hosted in a private Microsoft Azure environment. Then let's get started. Sebastian, as artificial intelligence technology advances, the integration into internal audit functions becomes essential. Artificial intelligence can automate routine tasks, analyze large datasets more efficiently than humans, and identify patterns that may indicate risk or control weaknesses. Then, how do we revise our audit strategy to leverage artificial intelligence without compromising on the human element that understands the organizational culture and nuances of human behavior?
AI tool right now is in the development stage, and I think it's not very mature. But from the internal audit perspective, what is really important to understand that the internal audit basics as independence, the competence of the internal audit function, and based internal audit function on the IA standards will stay the same if we use AI or not. AI tools could streamline the internal audit work, also could help analyze big data, create audit tests, and sometimes also write audit reports.
Sebastian, thank you for your thorough presentation on the first issue. Let's delve deeper into the topic of cybersecurity. This topic is a critical concern for organizations, and artificial intelligence offers sophisticated tools for monitoring, detecting, and responding to security threats. But can we rely on artificial intelligence to keep pace with the rapidly evolving cyber threat landscape, and how might this shape our cybersecurity audit plans?
I would like to start from different perspective. So the AI could be used as a tool that could support our cybersecurity departments, but it also could be used as a tool by cyber criminals and hackers that could attack our organization. Additionally, I see AI as a completely new threat from the deepfake perspective. So it's a new form of attack that could affect our organization. So we as internal auditors need to understand these new threats and new tools and how we could utilize them and understand the risk that is behind them. I think it's also crucial for internal audit department to use the AI tools in the cybersecurity audit, like analyze big data, such, for example, logs, or other security events during the basic audit tests.
Artificial intelligence allows internal audit to transition from a control function to a strategic advisor by providing deeper insight into business risk and opportunities. how can we best position the audit function to use artificial intelligence in supporting business strategy and growth?
So, from my perspective, the internal audit function as an assurance function, as a third line of assurance, or in the past it called the third line of defense, stay in the same place. Internal audits also need to be independent. And what it's also really crucial is that internal audit needs to understand the business and the business needs. But we as internal auditors need to use AI tools that could streamline our work, provide additional insight from business perspective to help us provide better assurance and better advisory services.
Thank you for that clarification. Now, it's time to address the so-called elephant in the room, data privacy. Artificial intelligence is becoming a game changer in the way companies check, for example, their financial health, but it comes with a big responsibility. It has to handle secret numbers and facts that companies don't want to share with everyone. We have to keep this information safe because there are strict laws about who can see and use this data. At the same time, we want AI to do its job well, which means it needs to be able to look at this sensitive information. Then, now is the question to you. What's the best way to let AI help with audits without stepping over the line on the data privacy rules?
So I treat AI providers as other services providers. I will give you some example. So when the cloud comes in, we also start to treat them as a service providers, but with different approach, a bit different approach. And with the AI service providers, we share our confidential and private data. We need to assess their information security and privacy posture and our risks during this sharing process. Because we rely on AI services as on supply chain services, that's why we need to assess the risk that it's connected with those services.
Everything we've mentioned during our conversation leads to the final question. GRC systems, when combined with artificial intelligence and tools like ChatGPT, can not only streamline audit processes, but also enhance decision-making with predictive insights. This integration can transform data into strategic value. There is only one question, and very important one: how? Then, Sebastian, the question to you: how can we integrate ChatGPT into GRC systems to assist and improve the internal audit function?
I use different kind of AI tools like ChatGPT in my daily work. I try to create audit programs, audit questions, sometimes audit tests based on our ChatGPT tools or other AI tools. I also write audit reports with the ChatGPT help. Sometimes I use ChatGPT or other AI tools to create management summaries, presentation, and to create or generate audit recommendation. I also try to use ChatGPT assistants as my personal assistant to analyze, for example, data, to analyze or try to create some gap analysis based on the rules, regulations, framework or other documentation that I need to analyze during my audit work. But what is really important to understand that we as internal auditors are responsible for final audit results, and also we are responsible for confidential information that we process during our audit work.
Sebastian, thank you for the discussion and very valuable insights. Right now, I would like to invite you for the second part of the webinar, where I share with you some practical example how to integrate Microsoft Teams with internal audit solution. In this example, this will be AdaptiveGRC and with ChatGPT located in Microsoft Azure environment. Okay, let's go. In the dynamic landscape of corporate governance, the role of internal audit has become complex and also important. Today, we are on the cusp of transformative era with the integration of artificial intelligence assistants like ChatGPT into internal audit functions. This presentation will delve into how ChatGPT can assist in enhancing the efficiency, accuracy, and scope of internal audits. We will explore the synergies of human expertise and AI assistance to elevate our audit processes to the new heights of effectiveness. Firstly, I outline the necessary technical and business requirements to ensure that artificial intelligence assistant meets performance and security expectations. In the next section, I will cover the technical strategies for linking ChatGPT with existing databases and platforms, ensuring seamless communication and data exchange. During the demonstration, I will provide a live demo of ChatGPT's capabilities within our internal audit solution, demonstrating real-time interaction. And last but not least, we will discuss a step-by-step plan for deploying ChatGPT in the organization. Let's get started. Now, I would like to share with you some of the most important requirements for the artificial intelligence assistant. Secure access to internal systems in the organization. Only if the solution is secure, it can be used to the full extent. Real-time interaction. Of course, nobody wants to have a long wait until the processing is finished. Scope limited to the business context, audit, risk, or compliance. We need only scope which is relevant to our business function. During the demo, we will show you how it works. Data flow controlled by the organization, including data ownership and data privacy. Low cost of adaptation. If we want to verify the solution, time and cost for the proof of concept or a pilot should be reasonable. Easy integration with the legacy systems. We can connect state-of-the-art solution to our old system to gain benefits from the artificial intelligence technology. And of course, we have to trust data. Artificial intelligence hallucinations should be limited to the level that can be verified by the subject matter experts. Now we are familiar with the artificial intelligence assistance requirements and assumptions. Let's explore how to integrate the internal audit solution with ChatGPT. Here we can see the architecture of the solution components. Information security is delivered on several levels. A user with access to the audit system has the same set of permissions when using Microsoft Teams. Access to system implemented through permissions assigned to the users. The scope of the data is pre-established to ensure appropriate security level. The set of information sent to ChatGPT is of course controlled by the precise prompts. And additionally, the system context is defined and limited. Let's see how it works in detail. When retrieving a user data, the process is designed to follow strict security guidelines already in place. This is done either through the Application Programming Interface API or by using specific SQL queries. Mentioned methods ensure that the data access is appropriate for the level of access granted to the particular user in question. The process is carefully controlled to prevent unauthorized access and to ensure that each user can only reach the data they are permitted to use based on the rules set for their individual profile. Before any user input is processed by large language model, it is pre-processed to incorporate context-specific or domain-specific restrictions, ensuring that the data complies with the relevant rules and limitations. In the embedding process, this data is then converted into numerical vectors, a format that ChatGPT can interpret. The embedding process also organizes the data in a multidimensional vector space, positioning similar items in the proximity to each other, which helps the model to recognize patterns and relationships within the data. The open-source semantic kernel is engineered to not only orchestrate communication with the models, but also to enhance this interaction by applying advanced understanding of context and meaning. It possesses capabilities such as natural language processing, pattern recognition, and semantic analysis to ensure that the exchanges with the models are not only just data-driven, but also contextually aware. And this is important. Significantly less hallucinations due to provided accurate context in a prompt. For example, data scope, context of the operation, and expected format of the response. Our demo solution operates on the ChatGPT 4 model in the private Azure cloud. However, the same interface allows access to the various clouds, including local ones. It is possible to build a solution that uses a local model to verify sensitive data, while the other data, the model in the private Azure cloud, is used. This gives you the flexibility and also control on data processing. The user layer is very flexible. In the example, we will use Microsoft Teams as the main communication channel. In the same way, a web application, mobile application, or even desktop application can be used. All security mechanisms remain common and are provided by the architecture of the solution. Generally, if a REST API is supported, we can not only provide a dedicated solution, as it's shown in our example, but also to provide a user layer built into another system as a potential artificial intelligence extension. As they say, seeing is believing. Therefore, I invite you to a brief 3-minute demonstration of the system capabilities. Let's start the demo.
This is an internal audit solution in a nutshell. After we log into the system, we see a dashboard that shows important statistics about all the audits and correlated statuses. When we go to the view of all audits, we see a list of them and their current status, like open, issued, or so. If we choose one audit as an example, we can see its details, what it is about, how many findings it has, the actions, and the current completion progress. This lets us assess the audit from a management perspective. By going to the monitoring option, we also see all the details and connections, the responsible people, and the status of implementation. At the beginning, let us our assistant to introduce itself. We see that it is an assistant supporting AdaptiveGRC, and the scope of its operation is limited to governance, risk and compliance. It has information about audits and related actions. Let's ask it about the current audits that are in the fieldwork status. Okay, we received the expected information. However, the format is not suitable for us. Let's ask it to convert the information into a tabular form. Knowing which audits we have, let's ask the assistant to prepare a list of actions that are delayed. Working in an international environment often involves interacting with diverse languages. However, this is not a problem for our assistant. You can ask questions in any language and still receive an answer. If you want to know more about possible activities to be carried out from the actions provided, our assistant can help in that too. And the last, if you want to find, for example, a recipe for something sweet during work, the assistant won't be able to help. Its domain is limited only to the defined support scope.
Now I would like to share with you some recommended steps for successful implementation of ChatGPT-powered internal audit process. Start is very important, and at the beginning we have to make some important decisions. I will show you the 3 most important areas to take into consideration. Firstly, choose user interface channel for user to interact with artificial intelligence assistant. Remember that we can have more than one user interface at the same time. Choose source systems that will provide context data for user. Remember to ensure the appropriate integration. And of course, the large language model deployment is important, that this will best fit your expectation. We can have in the private cloud or self-hosted. In the next slide, I will present you recommended steps to do an implementation which was shown in my demonstration. Implement artificial intelligence assistant user interface using Power Virtual Agent and Power Automate platform in Microsoft Teams. Then, describe REST API that will provide data on behalf of users, and deploy OpenAI GPT model in Azure Cloud. Load API descriptions into vector database with embeddings. Vector database store and manage multidimensional data vectors, enabling efficient similarity searches and indexing. The next, set up the semantic kernel, which is a mathematical function that measures the similarity between 2 data points. It effectively captures the semantic relations between words or phrases, allowing for more nuanced and context-aware text analysis. And then the last, implement interface between artificial intelligence assistant and audit system REST API. Thank you all for joining today's webinar on using ChatGPT in internal auditing. I encourage you to explore and experiment with ChatGPT in your audit practices, as it can offer insight and efficiency. Your own tests with this technology could lead into significant advancement in your audit processes. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or need for further guidance. We're here to support your journey in integrating artificial intelligence into internal auditing or even more. See you in the future.